They are trafficking children and minors for satanic rituals. How does that affect you? And what is your business in that? It involves you knowingly or unknowingly. It is a spiritual bargain. Whether you are aware of it or not, in life there's a cause and effect. Your ignorance does not inoculate you from experiencing the effect of what human sacrifice does to mankind, society, communities, nations. For years, that was decades ago, maybe almost 2 decades ago, I watched on popular medias, those major mainstream medias, how Westerners, they hopped and got into Africa, I think the Chad area, somewhere around Senegal, but predominantly Chad, and they had children, infants, and kids loaded into helicopters and airplanes that they were rescuing them from hardship, from poverty, and they were bringing them to Europe and America, and how the Africans were applauding and they were so appreciative. Oh, take my child away. But there were people who knew what was up. There were people who knew what's up. I was of those ones that were programmed by those mainstream channels to say, oh, they are doing a gesture. They're trying to save the kids. They're trying to save our generation by doing good work. Look at what they're doing. And the people who knew was so broke for an outrage, a total outrage that stopped taking children from different parts or disenfranchised parts of the world to bring them here. It stopped overtly, but it was open in another dimension. Yes, when the border was opened, children were trafficked from different parts of the world. It's not an allegedly, but we can say allegedly, but children were trafficked. During Biden's government, 300,000 children are missing. But let's hear what happened. Recently, Nicki Minaj came up. She had been part of them. She had been in there. She came up and said, she's opening up of what happened, that your favorite celebrities are using children for rituals. Your favorite, I remember back then in America, child adoption was a big thing. They were hopping and going to Ethiopia. They were going to those disenfranchised African nations and adopting kids. But people knew what was up. It stopped overtly. It stopped by airplane, but it got opened through the border. And then we now have Nicki Minaj coming and saying, your favorite celebrities, this is what are using children for child sacrifices to their God, Satan. And it's not new. This is not a new thing. People know it, but they are so rich and powerful, and they are the ones that we, or you, or people idolize, or the media put them as poster child for good works and morality, so that you will never suspect them. But there's something. He said, Nicki Minaj said they are using them for their power. They're not only using them for power, to ascend to power or to stay in power. They are using those blood sacrifices of children to put spells in communities, to increase addiction, to put blindness and ignorance there. Happenings will be happening and people will not know. They put spells so that people will not know about God. They put sicknesses through those You don't understand things. The fact that you don't understand spiritual things does not inoculate or terminate the fact that these things happened. These are spiritual things. What sacrifice and rituals, blood sacrifices does is beyond what you don't know. You are being affected by a blood sacrifice you don't know. Marriages are being broken because of those rituals. Singles don't get married. I know you will always say, why do certain communities go through certain behaviors? I know you will say, oh, because they are not trained. No, satanic rituals has some hand in changing behavior of people. And now she came out and said what has been going on for a long time. But somebody of a bigger platform is saying it this time, and you will not believe it. Some will not believe it because you've been programmed, like how I was programmed by the media before, as how others are in blindness before. You've been programmed, but these things are happening. When kids are being killed, when children are being murdered, it breaks the heart of God. It breaks the heart of God only if you know. And not only that, it fortifies evil. Evil becomes fortified. They become emboldened to take over the lives of people and communities, and it will impact hatred, impact all the dissension that we're seeing, all the chaos that we're seeing on earth. You think it may not affect you? The child sacrifice does not. It affects all of us, because when a child is sacrificed to Baphomet, the spells are released into the atmosphere, and everyone under this earth or under this cloud or under this country, they are aware of it. I want to say something. Back in those days, when they were hopping on planes and going to the African nations or the impoverished nations to bring those kids to Europe and America. Back in those days, yeah, I watched Oprah Winfrey went to say she was rescuing kids in South Africa. She built schools, and then in Kenya as well, she built schools. And your favorite Oprah Winfrey, she went, and our parents were applauding back then. Oh, she's nice to kids. I'm not saying nothing, but these are the things. Oh my God, oh my God. I remember those days, adoption was so high. But you got people who know the what's up, who knows what was behind it, and they fought so hard to stop it. But the painful thing is that your favorite celebrities, your favorite idols, the objects of your worship, the ones that you're dying to become, the ones that you can offer your kids to for free, they are the perpetrators of such act. You may never know them. They are wolves in sheep clothing.